This is Mastering Mathematics with your teacher, Karen Weston.
Good evening, Antigua Barbuda. Welcome again to another in the series, Mastering Mathematics. This is a program sponsored by the Ministry of Education using its EBU unit, Center for Mathematics Education and Warrior Education 2 and ABS Television. Yes, we are now on the homeward stretch to mastering the techniques and all the concepts that we've been taught to get into that examination room to write a successful mathematics examination paper. Today we're going to jump right into the heat because we are now going into our question number 2. Started yesterday, we did some factorization, no practicing today, we're going straight to the examination questions. My performers, we would have been doing these things in the year and asking about solving a quadratic equation. Now this again is the one we're looking at. We did this first part yesterday, but we're doing that, so we remove that from the board, we're not confused, and we're doing this. Now, what do we know? We say we have two types when it comes to the quadratic equation here, where we're saying that one without the coefficient and one with the coefficient. So we distinguish them. Next week, I'll go right through the factorization and say how many types we have, so that when you're in that examination room, you can say, oh, this is the one that fits this category, and you know what to do. Here, I expect you to know what to do too, because this is the one where we have the quadratic equation, but it has a coefficient plus 9m, and it's minus 5, and we are asked to factorize that. What we do, we look at the coefficient from the x squared term, get our factors that can be equal to 2 times 1, and it's a prime number, so they only have 2 factors, right? And then this is just 5 times 1. C6 is very, very kind. Whatever we do to these in terms of multiplying, which is either diagonally, okay, so we can go across like that too, or just vertically, all right? So if we're going diagonally, it will be this top number with that bottom number, this with that. Why are we doing this diagonally and vertical stuff? Because we're trying to get back the coefficient of our term in the middle, which is m. And I apologize, grannies, because we're taking you through something you don't know as yet, but my performers do. Okay? And we want to get a 9. And we can look and see that we're saying 5, if we go vertically, we can say 5 2s are 10. 1 times 1 would give you 1. If we subtract, we're going to get 9. So we know that that's the correct combination, where we would be going 5 times 2 and 1 times 1. And then we subtract, and we would get our 9, the coefficient in the middle. So we have to make this term here, all right? The constant term, the one from the constant term, a negative number, so that we can be saying a negative 1 times a positive 1 will give you this negative 1 here. And we know we are correct because when we say 5 times negative 1, we're going to get negative 5. Okay, so we know that that is correct. So what do we do? For this factorization, we need 2 brackets. So it is this bracket, that bracket. Okay, then we're going to put in the factors from the first term here, the first term in the brackets. And so we said that the factors here were 2 with 1. So we're going to write here for the first term 2m, and over here it is just m because we know it's 1m. Now we look, and then we need to put in the factors from our constant term. Okay, from the constant term, and we know it is 5 and negative 1. But which one goes in what bracket? And that is where sometimes some of the confusion lies. And this is what we say. The numbers that are multiplied together cannot be in the same bracket. Alright? The numbers which are multiplied together cannot be in the same bracket. So we know that the 2 is multiplied by the 5, so they cannot be in the same bracket. So the 5 comes over here, and it's a positive 5, and we just fit in the negative 1. And that is what it is. Okay? In terms of having our 2m squared plus 9m minus 5, first of all, we'll just be using the coefficient from our x squared term and our constant term to try multiplying the factors to give us back the coefficient of our middle term. The multiplication can take place vertically or diagonally. We look at our coefficient from our m term, put it at the m. And you're going to teach your students that if you're going to do this way, then you're going to make certain that the coefficient for the x squared or the m squared for the squared terms, that they are written first and they are the top numbers. So you're not doing it one time and then another time. Do not interchange, or else you're going to be in trouble. Alright? So every time our first row represents the factors from our squared terms. Alright, because it can be, notice I'm hedging to say x, because it can be m, it can be p, it can be anything. So we have to get that right. So we see we did that 2 times 1. And the factors again for our constant term, again we look and we say those are prime numbers, so they only have 2 factors. See how kind CXC is? What is CXC after? The concept, the principle. How do we do it? Alright? And then once we have done that, we're lining up. And we're using our beady little eyes, because we can go and say 5 ones are 5 and 5 2s and 1 times 2 would be 2. And you know if you went diagonally, you would not get the answer. So then we know right away we're going 2 5s 10, take off a 1, we get a 9. So we know. And notice I said it was the constant term where the negative number was, because as long as you have a positive term for your m squared term, we leave that. So I'll always switch in with our constant term to change the signs. Alright? Once we would have done this, the work is over. And it's now to just put this in correctly. So first we're putting in the first term 2m, and then you put back in this m in the other term here. Then we have to fit in our constant term, and you're saying, how are we doing this? And you say the numbers that are multiplied together cannot be in the same bracket. Okay? And that is why we know to put our plus 5 in that bracket over there, and then you have your negative 1 right here. Alright? Our positioning is very, very important. So that is the factorization for that one. Okay? Alright. Yes. So now I want to show you that if we had to do our multiplication and we had to get back this into our 2m squared plus 9m minus 5, that even if you wanted to test it to see, am I correct? Because that's always good, so that when you reach in the examination room, that you're not confused. Let me tell you what I would do. So you would say right away, the first term, so you write 2m, and it is multiplied by everything in that second bracket, plus 5, and then it is minus 1 multiplied by everything in the second bracket again. Okay? So notice what I did. If we're fast, we can just go this and that, but I want to spell it out for you. Okay? And here we're going 2m times m will give you 2m squared. And then it is plus 2m times 5, and that's giving you 10m. And then it is minus, and then we have a negative 1 times a positive m will give you negative m. And a negative 1 times a positive 5 will give you negative 5. And then we're collecting our like terms. Do we have any more m squared term? No. So we're writing back 2m squared. We have 10m minus, and remember this means 1m. So we have plus, and which number is bigger by how many? So we have plus 9m minus 5. So you know right away that your solution is correct. Alright? And because you would have done a lot of these in your practicing session out here, you don't have to be hedging. You write it and move on to your next question in an examination situation. So we are showing you that that is correct. Now we're going to send you for a break, and then we'll be right back to take you through some more examination questions. And I'll be using the 2011 examination paper with a question number 2 here for you. See you then.
Whenever possible, draw a diagram. Even though you may be able to visualize the situation mentally, a hand-drawn diagram will allow you to label the picture, to add auxiliary lines, and to view the situation from different perspectives.
Don't look on what I cannot do. Focus on what I can do. I may not see what I do, but I can hear and feel it as strongly.
I may not hear, but that does not and should not affect my ability to learn and to function in the real world.
I am a gifted student. I need the opportunity to soar. Support me in my climb to higher levels of learning.
Some of our children have special educational needs. They have a right to an education. So, let us teach them the way that they learn and help them to achieve their full potential.
Right, so we're back. Yes, and you know, we're not going to talk. We're just going straight into it. Question number 2. Write as a single fraction in its lowest term. And this is what we're getting. It is x minus 2 over 3. And it is plus. And it is x plus 1 all over 4. And this is worth 3 marks. So right away, some people will tell me the LCM is 12. And we're doing it and saying 3 to 12 goes 4. So we're writing down is x minus 2, and it is plus 4 into 12, 3, and it is x plus 1. Right, these are my fifth formers, and yes, they know these things, so we're going quickly because I want to show you what you do in the exam. Then that is 4x, it's minus 8, and it's plus 3x, and it's plus 3, and it's over 12. Notice the distributive law, everything outside, inside the brackets multiplied by what's outside. Do not make the mistake and forget to multiply 4 times 2 or 3 times 1. That's where the mistake comes. Collect all like terms, and here we get in. It is 7x, and it is minus negative 8 and plus 3. Biggest number is 8, and it's by 5 over 12. And that's the first answer. Finished. Move on. 3 marks in the bag. Second part says, part B now says, the binary operation star is defined by A star B is equal to A plus B all squared, and it is minus 2AB. Alright? And then it says, calculate the value of 3 star 4. And my friends, that is the same thing like substitution. The first number refers to the A, and the second number refers to the B. Alright, that is pure substitution again. So don't say, I don't understand these little things. That is what it is, pure substitution. Instead of saying if A is equal to 3 and B is equal to 4, they give you this. And then you get stuck no longer. Alright? So the first number goes with the first letter. The second number goes with the second letter. This is what they say the equation is. So you plug it into that, you get your answer, and you get your marks. What is the value of A here? It's 3. So again, we put it in, it is 3 plus the value of B is 4 minus, and it is 2 times 3 times 4. It is as simple as that. And then now we are saying it's squared. Don't forget your squared, okay? And it's now equal to 7 squared minus 2 times 3 times 4. And that is going to give me 3 4s are 12, negative 24 here. And it's equal now to 49 minus 24. And it is equal to a 5, and it is equal to a 2. Alright, so from here straight into your calculators, we can get our answer is equal to 25. Move on. Then it says factorize completely. And what are we factorizing completely? I want to show you just how quickly you can finish your questions, okay? Because the information is already in your brains, and you came in, and this is part C for that question, to write the exam. Not like any old fool, but knowing your information because you have studied. Plus x squared y, okay? And it's factorizing. And you're just laughing because you say, what's common? We're looking x. We can take out an x, and we can take out a y. Having done that, what are we left with here? It's just y squared, and here is just plus x. And that is the answer. You're finished. Move on. Part 2 for the same question. What it says we're factorizing. And what did they give us? 2mh, and it is minus 2nh, and it is minus 3mk, and it is plus 3 NK. Now I want to tell you, don't try and disfigure anything. Just how they have given you, put your brackets around them. So you have 2mh minus 2nh, okay, bracket, minus, now a light bulb gone off, okay, because you have a minus in front, and you're putting them in a bracket. So what are we going to do to the middle side? Change it to a negative 3nk. Alright, so we change it to a negative whilst we're putting it in. What do we have in common? Yes, we have i's, and we can take out 2h. What are we left with inside? M minus little n. And it's minus. Again, here, we can see that it is 3k. That will be coming out here. Okay, so it's 3k. What are we left with inside? M minus n. Did we say m minus n a while ago, Jetto? Yes. And that is why they say factorize completely. Because again, you can factorize. And here, it is m minus n that is common to each term. And what are we left with? It is 2h minus 3k. Alright? And that is the answer. That is the last part we have to do now. And that is part D. So far you have gotten your 3 and 2, 5 and 2, 7. And we cut and 2, 9. 9 out of 12. Right? So the last part now, you start smiling. Because here we are. You're not supposed to get any of these wrong. Okay? No mistake at all. So you're going with 9 marks. 9 marks on my question. And that's doing good? Yes. And did you take 5 minutes? No. Right? You see how fast you just went through? That is what it is when you get in the exam. We're tottering outside now because we're just teaching you. But in that examination room, that's how fast your brain is taking you through it. Okay? And then so this one says a table. We have a table X, Y. The numbers are 2. We have 5 and we have B. And you have 2. You have 12 and we have A and we have 48. And it says, listen carefully, this is the table that you're given. Alright? And you don't have to even draw all these things. It says, the table below shows corresponding values of the variables X and Y, where Y varies directly as X. And we say, right, that is what we know. And of course, they're asking us to calculate the values of A and B. So, first of all, we want to get the equation. And very directly, we know we start here. And then, so we're going to write y then is equal to kx. And we have to find the value of k to see which member of this family we're dealing with. We have here 2 with 4. So we can say when x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 12, this would imply then, because we're trying to get a value for k, we will say 12 would be equal to k, and it's times the 2. Okay, so you see 12 is equal to 2k. And we can say right away k then would be equal to 12 divided by 2, so that k is equal to 6. Okay, so we use this, x is equal to 2, y is equal to 12. What would be our value here? So we know right away the equation we're dealing with is y is equal to 6x. That is why we found the value for k. Alright, now it's just t, isn't it? So when x is equal to 5 here, when x is equal to 5, y, which is a, we'd say y then would be x is equal to 5, y is equal to 6 times 5, which is just equal to 30. So that is our value for a right here. Okay, the only hard thing here was to get the equation. So this is now equal to, I want to put it in another color. Come on, color. Okay. So this is now equal to 30. And again, we do the same thing. When y, so yes, this is where it gets confused. Let's take off these. And we're saying, when y is equal to 48, what would x be equal to? Using the same equation, y is equal to 6x. And so we are saying 48 is equal to 6x. X then would be equal to 48 divided by 6. And we know that that's 8 because we know our tables. So here, b is equal to 8. Did that take 10 minutes to complete that question? No. Alright? And that's as quickly as you can go in the examination room. Because you're not going in there and looking up in the sky trying to get any information at that time. You will have done your work, you know everything, you have revised your topics, and that's it. 12 marks from that examination paper. And I just want to begin this one because we may not finish it, okay? So let us look at the first 2 parts of this question. Again, and this is from the examination paper 2013, okay? And this is the May edition, all right? So May-June edition of the 230 examination CXC papers. Go to the CXC papers, you get the language right away, all right? This is what we have. Factorize completely. 2x cubed minus 8x. And again, these are our dear little darlings, okay? Put your bracket around. 2 is common. We can take out an x. And then again, you just left here with x squared, and it's minus 4. Now, we know that we have a difference of squares. Do we know this, Jetto? X squared minus 4 squares, okay? So we know that that can go into, and it's x minus 2, and it's times x plus 2. We're going in with our information, okay? So that is what we're looking for. As long as you see a minus and the square number comes up, we know it's a difference of squares. And that's why CX is careful to say factorize completely. Alright? You have factorized here, but it is not completed because you can take it down some more. Okay, and the last part here for today, this is the one you have 3x squared is minus 5x minus 2. What did we tell you already? The coefficients from the x squared term, we're looking for the factors, 3 times 1, and the constant term, which is just equals 2 times 1. And again, we just want to see that we must get back our middle term of a negative 5. And we have I, so we can say vertically would give it to us because we say 2 times 3 would give you a 6, 1 times 1 would give you 1. This time we want a negative 5. So the 6 has to be the negative number. Isn't that true? Yes. So then the 2 here has to be the negative factor. So we can say a negative 2 times a positive 3 would give you a negative 6. Alright? And when we add to that, we know we're going to get our negative 5. So the multiplication must give us back the middle coefficient. That's what we're doing. Now we go for our brackets. And remember that these represent, the top number represent our x squared term. We are putting each in the front of the bracket. So here we'll be putting in 3x. You put in x. What is multiplied by the 3? The negative 2. They cannot be in the same bracket. So it goes over here. And then we put in our plus 1. And that's finished. Okay, so we are going to get our 2 marks. That's our 4 marks for that part of the question. Friends, it's as easy as this. We would have done our work. We get into the examination paper room. Nothing else comes into our thoughts but just mathematics, the concept, you, I, the paper, and our God. Okay, it can be done. And I'm just showing you the speed with which you're doing it in your examination room. Although I'm talking it through, but I'm showing you how your hands are turning over. Don't lean back on your elbow and going no slow, right? You have a time in which to complete this paper. You have done the work. This is no joke thing, okay? You're studying seriously. People have invested in you, and it was your job to get prepared, get into the examination room. You're getting there early too. You're not just running and saying, Lord, you have an hour ready. Oh Lord, the bus had a puncture. You have to prepare for those things long before the exam day. So you're going to leave your home to be there for 2 hours in advance. Anything happen on the way, you have time. You're not panicking. I saw a lot of people fail that maths exam in January, even before they started writing an exam paper. Come to the examination room, no ID. Go back home for ID. Or that is pressure you're putting on yourself. And then you're coming in, and you say, can I have more time? That's nobody's fault. That's your fault, okay? That's personal principle. Pack everything overnight. Check. Ask your parents to remind you, to tell you, ask you if you have this, that, everything. But take responsibility. Alright? So, we're going to make certain you pass that examination paper, even if it kills us, okay? Because God will give us back the strength to come alive again. So, be prepared. Note that from now on, we're going to be going as quickly as we can to show you these. And daddies, uncles, and cousins, don't be perturbed. Next week, I'm going to begin by showing you step by step how you get into this principle for the factorization. And then you're going to say, come Miss Weston, you done last me a long time. Alright? So we're going to bring you back, but we want to make the performers know we're not making jokes, okay? This is what it now takes. Don't say you did that a long time ago so you forget. It's your task to have it at your fingertip and use the information as quickly as you can to get into that and pass the examination. Alright? We wish you well. We want you to start taking responsibility, to understand that you are in charge of your own destiny. And when the opportunities come, do not just take them for granted. A lot of people will be glad if they had the opportunity you have now. And you have tablets, you have free books, you have everything here. Alright, leave the politics and everything for politicians and all these. We are educators. Let us make certain that we are in position to contribute to our economy and to make this Antigua land a bit better than we met it. Have a good evening. Hope you enjoy the series and see you next time when we are delighted to bring you some more mathematical concepts. Bye and enjoy the rest of the evening and the week. May God bless you.
Join us next time for another in the series, Mastering Mathematics, a production of the Education Broadcasting Unit in the Ministry of Education and ABS TV.